Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, you can see where we are. We're at the bottom of Walking Street, and this video today is an advice video telling mainly for newbies, but a lot of information for existing people who are already here or have been before, and a couple of stories. I think I might even have 3 stories. We'll see what we can squeeze in. So we'll start off here and we'll walk down the main drag of Walking Street. We'll go left up side 15, little trip up second road, back down side Diamond, up the main drag again, and then we'll have a little offshoot to have a look at Republic, because a lot of you probably never seen the inside of it, and then up past Ibar, and then we'll wander around there. So we've got about 30 minutes and we've got a lot to talk about. A lot of info and a lot of stories. So let's get started, shall we? So it appears from the comments that now that all the Thailand entry restrictions have been dropped and you can just come, and also the rainy season is coming to an end, it looks like, there's a lot of you guys are planning to come back this high season, which starts officially on the 1st of November. You've had enough of waiting, and you're willing to pay the high airfares and put up with the higher prices for your newfound friends, and you don't want to wait any longer, and I can understand that. I'm also surprised just how many of you guys are complete beginners and have never even been for the first time. Some of you, a lot of you comment, well, that's a Happy Leaf shop. There's a lot of those springing up around here now, one on the other side further down as well. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of first timers, second timers, third timers, so many people who are really need to listen to the all the 300 videos I've done, you know, get all this info, because it's really important if you're going to come. And of course there are many of your experienced guys that haven't been for 3 years and are desperate to get back here, and I'll bet you guys have forgotten everything you learnt if you've only been a few times before, and you'll start behaving like newbies, because so much has changed really in the last 3 years since you were last here, you know. Let me start off for you newbies with where in Pattaya you should stay if you're coming for nightlife particularly. The reason I'm talking to you about this is that where the hotel is desperately important. And the other day I was sitting in a cafe on Cyber Cow, and next to me was an American guy, and he was on holiday in Pattaya for 3 weeks, and we just got chatting. Oh, by the way, this is the Frog Complex, which only was opened I think yesterday or the day before. Absolutely brand new. So we'll have a little look around here. It's really good. It looks beautiful, much nicer than it used to be, much more sort of high class, if you like, or classier, or whatever you want to call it, than it used to be. The only thing is, at the end you used to be able to go to the and see the sea, if you remember. It was open. It appears not to be now. There's a stage there and some guys, a DJ up there and what have you. Don't think I didn't have a proper look, but it doesn't look like you can go outside or go to the back. Anyway, that side, I just wanted to show you this. That's why I thought I'd have a quick wander in. Now, where was I up to? Oh yeah, I was chatting to this American guy in this cafe, and he was saying he wasn't very happy because he'd booked and paid in full online for a room in a small hotel which described itself as on Pattaya Beach, but it turned out that it was way down Pattaya Jomtien Beach. I mean, to the point where it was actually in Jomtien, on near Soi 2. It's about 12 kilometers, that's about 8 miles from where he actually wanted to be, but they wouldn't give him a refund, so he was stuck with it. You know, you got to be careful about these things. You got to know where you are. Um, Now, another guy that I actually came across another day had booked and paid for in full online with a small online agent for a condo to rent in Grand Avenue, which is great. Great location on Soy 15. Now, if you know where that is, it's a superb location. Anyway, when the guy arrived there to meet the agent was waiting. He was waiting at the entrance, and the agent came up in a car and pulled up outside, and then got out of the car. And the agent was a stunning, drop-dead, gorgeous girl, and she came up to the guy and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm from the agency, but I've made a mistake. This condo is not free until tomorrow. Please don't complain, as it's my mistake and I could lose my job. But I've arranged for another condo for you, just for tonight, and I can take you there now in my car." The guy wasn't happy, but he didn't want to get this gorgeous girl into trouble, so he got in the car and all the way to Jomtien, which is where she was taking him. Oh, by the way, look at this here. Who remembers this? This is where Electric Blue used to be, and where, was it Baby Dolls? I can't remember, a long time ago. Used to be. You remember all that? It's gone, totally ripped out and gone. Don't know what's happening there. It'll be interesting to see what gets built there. Probably a new fancy go-go, I would imagine. But across the road on the other side is the Electric Blue and the Baby Doll. Not what's it called now? Not Baby Dolls. Dollhouse. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, the one across the road. Right. Let's just continue on. So where was he up to? Yeah. Anyway, he was in the car going to Jomtien, and the girl was chatting and joking and flirting with him. And when he arrived at the alternate condo, all the way down Jomtien Beach Road, she took him in and gave him the keys, and also gave him her phone number, saying, "Phone me tonight and we can have a drink together, and we can arrange to meet tomorrow to move you into Grand Avenue." And then she drove off. So what do you think happened next? Absolutely nothing. The phone number was never answered. She never came back. And the reception at the Jomtien condo said, as far as they were concerned, he'd booked and paid for 2 weeks with them, and they knew nothing about the Grand Avenue. And there was no reply from the agent's email. Obviously, there was never any condo in Grand Avenue at all. So, this is Thailand, you have to be careful. So what do we learn from this? Only book with a proper agent, with a proper office, or an established online agent, like Agoda or Booking or Airbnb. Or of course direct with the actual condo owner, if you know who he is. So, you know where we are? We've turned off Second Road, back down toward Walking Street, and this is Soy Diamond. And just in front of you, to the left side, is the very, very well known and notorious windmill, the Windmill Club. I think a lot of you have probably been there, but if you haven't, then you really want to go. It's an absolute riot. You've got to go to the windmill. You cannot come to Pattaya and not go to the windmill. You see, it's just a little bit further on there. In fact, it doesn't actually open. This was what about 6 o'clock, 6:30 or something like that at this time. And you can see the staff are waiting outside. There's a whole bunch of girls and guys. They're all just waiting for it to open, because it doesn't actually open till I think about 7:30 or 8, something like that. But if I just turn around and show you, that's the staff waiting, and that's Windmill. Okay, so that's where you need to go if you're coming down here. So we'll walk back down Soy Diamond, and we'll just go back onto the. Oh yeah, that's a Ladyboy Go-Go. If anyone of you is into that, that is the most well-known Ladyboy Go-Go. And to the left up there is that's up the stairs to the left is what used to be Heavens Above, but that moved to Soy Bacau, in fact, to Soy Boomerang on Soy Bacau. In fact, that's a great place to go, by the way. Let's have a quick look in here, see if we can see inside at all. Yeah, you can see all the seating and everything in there. But those don't open till 8, and as I said, there's another hour and a half before they open. So I assume that Windmill must, if the staff are waiting at this time, it must open earlier. It must open around 7ish, I would guess. Not 7:30. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll check it later. Anyway, going back to what we were talking about originally, which was about where to stay. And I'll tell you what, I'll run through the 5 main areas, and I'll tell you if you should stay there or not, or whether it would suit you. You know. So let's just do that first. So the 5 main areas are, starting from the north, is Wongamat or Naklua, okay, and then moving down there's the central Pattaya, and then out to the east there's East Pattaya, or the dark side, and then you move down south a little bit more, you've got Pratamnak, and then south again from Pratamnak you've got Jomtien. That's the 5 areas. So we'll just run through them and tell you what it's suitable for. What type of holiday and what type of people, depending on what you want out of your holiday, each area is suitable for. Okay. Now, firstly, briefly, there's East Pattaya, which is nicknamed the dark side, which is the other side, the far side of Sukhumvit Road. The dark side has lots of restaurants and bars and markets. But it's an area where people live. It's not a nightlife area, to be honest. In my opinion, it's too far from the centre of Pattaya, which is where the action is. I mean, there is a little bit of action over on the dark side, but not much at all. It's not somewhere I would consider staying on a holiday vacation. It's somewhere that you might want to retire and live there because it's cheap. Its primary benefit is it's cheap. Okay, so that's the dark side. Let's move on to the next one, which is the Wongamat and Naklua area, which is North Pattaya. Now, this area has what I would possibly consider the very best beach in all of Pattaya, which is Wongamat Beach. It's absolutely beautiful. It has beautiful beachfront condos and hotels and restaurants. It's also the most expensive area of Pattaya. It's really aimed at families. So let's have a quick look inside Pin-Up. If you haven't been in there, used to be twice the size. Used to be twice as wide Pin-Up. It's a lot smaller than it used to be. Anyway, yeah. So going back to what we're saying, it's really aimed at families. I think the Wongamat area. It's north of the Dolphin Roundabout. That's where it is. It's not an area that's easy to get from. You can get to it easily, but to get from it, because of they've closed the Dolphin Roundabout, it's not that easy to get back into Pattaya. The BART bus does run up the road, but it doesn't go into what is properly Wongamat, which is way off to the left. So there's not directly on a BART bus route. I mean, it is and it isn't, if you know what I mean. That's that Thai boxing ring, isn't it? That's still there. So anyway, going back to what we're saying, So if you're coming with your family, you could consider staying in Wangamat, Naklua. But if you're coming alone, I wouldn't. Definitely wouldn't. Okay, let's just cross the road here and go have a quick look in Republic, because a lot of you have never been inside here. It was rebuilt what, a year or a couple of years ago, wasn't it? Around the beginning of COVID, it was totally demolished and rebuilt completely. So we'll have a quick look. I'll just ask the lady what time it opens. Obviously it's not open now, but I just happened to notice the door was open. So we'll go and have a look and see what they have to say. Yeah, just have a quick look in here, then we'll carry on with what we're saying. So this is Republic. I mean, a lot of you younger guys listening will have been in here. But I just ask her what time it opens. What time open? What time? Jimong, the Jimong.
4 ทุ่มค่ะ
4 ทุ่ม
ค่ะ
Okay. So what she said in Thai was 10 p.m. That's what she said. So the next area we'll talk about quickly is Jomtien, which has its own little nightlife scene, with quite a few bar soys, such as Soy 7, which has got a whole load of bars on it. It's got some gents clubs, and it's even got a go-go, but no nightclubs. So if you're a little older and you only want a lightweight nightlife scene, which is not full on, then maybe Jomtien would suit you. As long as you don't stay past Soy 9, about Jomtien Soy 9, which is roughly where the Jomtien night market is. If you go much past that, it starts to become very residential. Not many bars and not that many restaurants and what have you. It just becomes very residential. So I wouldn't stay much past Soy 9. Also, if you want to have the odd full-on night out in, say, Walking Street, it's only 15 minutes or a 10 baht bus to Walking Street. It's very, very near. You know, you can get a regular BART bus from the beach road there, which runs all the way up to the night market. So if you're in that area, if you've no problem going to and from Pattaya on a 10 baht BART bus, you don't have to use a motorbike, you don't have to rent anything. You can just use the BART bus if you're in that area. It's also got a lovely, huge, long beach. And I believe the water is quite clean. So that is a good area to stay if you're not like a young guy who wants to be a party animal. That's a good place to stay. Okay, let's move on to the next area, which is Pratamnak. Okay. Now Pratamnak is the area between the Big Buddha Hill and the viewpoint, and then down the hill from there. That's the area, Pratamnak, down to the beaches. For all that hill, the double hill there, is Pratamnak, where the land juts out between Pattaya and Jomtien. It's a hilly area with many condos and hotels and 3 excellent beaches. It's got a few bars, a couple of gents clubs, and many restaurants. I mean, some of them are outstanding quality, like 3 Mermaids or what have you, or Sky Gallery. I mean, there's some beautiful restaurants, but there's also some very cheaper ones, you know. So quite reasonable. It's not as expensive as the city centre. And the road over the hill from Jomtien to Pattaya passes right through the top end of Pratamnak, and it has a regular BART bus both ways. So you can access the hilltop area, not so much down the hill where you would need to use a taxi or something, or a motorbike or a Bolt or whatever to get down to the bottom of the hill. And to be honest, the bottom of the hill is where you really want to be, because that's where all the restaurants and bars and everything are. But even from that area at the bottom, It's only 2.5 kilometers or 1.5 miles from the centre of Pratamnak down there to Walking Street, which is where all the go-go's, bars, nightclubs are. It's really, really, really close, but it's far enough away because it's over the hill to be quiet enough for a family. If you wanted to bring your family, you could bring a family to Pratamnak. That would be no problem. It's actually my favourite area, and it's where I live. So obviously my favourite area. So now we're getting on to the final area, which is the city centre. This is where most people will stay for the first time they come to Pattaya. And it extends from the Dolphin Roundabout in the north to the far end of Walking Street in the south, which is roughly where we are now. And from the beach in the west over to Sukhumvit Road. And it's a jungle, really. It's full of every type of beer bar, go-go bar, gents club, nightclub, ladyboy bar, massage shop, as well as countless restaurants of all price ranges, hotels, condos. I mean, this is the area you should stay if you want full-on action every night of your vacation. You should stay between Beach Road and Third Road. And there are also 2 BART bus routes which service this area, going both ways up and down Soi Buakhao, and the other one goes in a circular route which runs from the traffic lights near Walking Street at the junction of South Pattaya Road and Second Road, up Second Road all the way to the Dolphin Roundabout. There it turns left and it drops down Beach Road, going back to Walking Street. I mean, if you happen to catch one which is going to the Clue, when you get to the roundabout, it'll go straight on. You just press the bell, jump off, and then walk down onto the top of Beach Road and catch one from there. But I've got 2 videos showing you these 2 routes, which I actually ran round on my bike during lockdown, so there's no traffic. So I did it very quickly, and you can see the entire route of both of the routes. So I'll show you those. I'll put a link to the top to the 2 videos showing that. Okay, so you get an idea of where to go. Now, there's way too much in this area to include in a video, but the main areas are Walking Street, where we've just gone down now, at the south, and then you've got Soi Buakhao, LK Metro and Soi Potol in the middle, and then Soi 6 toward the north. That's the main entertainment nightlife areas. And obviously they're on a BART bus route. You want to stay on a BART bus route if you're a newbie, you don't know your way around. And look at those videos, it'll help you to navigate. So those are the main areas to stay in Pattaya. I just thought I'd try and get it across to you guys. Obviously, all you single younger guys are going to be staying in the centre, but that's not everybody who listens. There's a lot of people who are family people or older who won't want the centre. That's why I've included everywhere. Okay? Right, so is it time for a story? I wanted to fit 2 in, but we're on 23 minutes already, so I think we'll have to make do with 1. So this is more of an observation rather than just a story. Just hang on 1 second while we have a quick chat to this guy. Okay, thank you. So the other day, a friend of mine and myself decided to go on a scouting recce to have a look around some of the new gents clubs. These were all in the centre of Pattaya, and only the new ones, none of the older traditional clubs. Just to put you in the picture, my friend, who was in his late 40s, is a decent looking guy, and he was interested in trying out one of the clubs and having a look at one of the guest rooms with a new friend, if you get my drift. So about 5 p.m. we rang the doorbell of the first club, and the door was opened by a small plump girl who ushered us inside. to find that we were the only customers. And there was only one other girl working there who was slim and quite pretty, but only about a 7. I mean, nothing special, nothing really special. So we sat down in a group of 4 of us and started chatting. And my friend was interested in the slim one. So we started asking some prices and what have you. Lady drinks were 150, which is now the going rate in many places. Chang beer was 95 again, which is the average for gents clubs these days. But that's where the traditional prices stopped. When my friend asked the slim girl how much the guest room was, she said 500 baht, which is nearly twice the price of a traditional club. So the conversation continued, and my friend asked the slim one what jobs she did before she came to Pattaya. And she said she worked in a factory in Isan for 10,000 baht a month. So my friend asked then how much she made here by comparison. And the reply was, I have a salary here which is 30,000 baht a month. And the next question was, do you take customers? And, prices wise. And she said, on site ST is 2,000, but LT with an 800 bar fine was 5,000. And she was quite disinterested and cold, and my friend was surprised about that, because he's a decent looking guy and girls are usually all over him, So after one drink we checked the bin and we left, and there was no objection to us leaving by either girl. No, why you go, only one drink, nothing like that, just goodbye. My friend couldn't understand the disinterest until I pointed out that she was on a 30k basic salary, and so she no longer cared about taking care of customers. So we went to another new gents club in the city centre, and again it was quiet. There were only us 2 and about 8 girls. So again we picked 2 average looking staff and got chatting to discover exactly the same pricing and the same salaries as before, and a similar lack of enthusiasm. But I asked the question, is this club always quiet? And the girl answered, yes, only a little bit customer. So I said, why don't you work in a different club where it's busy and there are many customers? Then came the very revealing answer, me not want busy, me like quiet. Me can relax, play telephone, not want to work too much. That's when the penny really dropped with my friend. He realised that the 30,000 baht basic is enough for these girls, many of them. They don't want to actually do any more work. They would rather sit on their ass and play with their phone and collect the 30,000 baht basic salary at the end of the month and not do any work at all. So at that point we both checked the bin and left, and went to one of the 8 old traditional gent clubs on Soi Bangkok, where the girls are either have no basic salary at all or just a very small one. And oh my god, what a change in attitude and prices, down to 300 baht for the room, and plus 1,000. It's like pre-COVID days. So I'm telling you guys about this little scouting trip, so you understand that you need to check both the bar fine and the ST prices before the second lady drink, because a lot of places have different pricing structures to what you may have been used to in the past. Also, you need to check if your companion is even willing to be bar fined. Things have changed. So guys, if you like the video, please subscribe and like and share and ring the bell. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Okay.